Sunday is Super Bowl, one of the biggest sporting events of the year. And we know that the betting has continued to exceed estimates. It's been growing really since the pandemic, and now even more so. Chad Beynon's with us, Managing Director of Gaming, Lodging, and Theaters at Macquarie Group. Nice to see you. Thank you for being with us. So it's my understanding that, I mean, it is just surging. Gambling is hot. Tell me how hot.
Very hot this year. So 2023 sports betting revenues in the United States were up about 50%. And that was due to new states legalizing and then just better products overall. And we're seeing the engagement move from pre-match bets. So instead of just, -2 San Francisco versus the Chiefs, more towards things within the game and different prop bets and live betting. And that's kind of where the casual customer has gotten involved. And that's what we expect for the Super Bowl. So we expect, obviously, viewership to break all-time records. I think these are two teams that people know very well. The Taylor Swift effect has brought in a different type of audience. The number of teenage girls and moms that I hear that are going to be tuning into the Super Bowl for the first time in a long time, I think are setting records. And the big beneficiaries will obviously be the sports betting companies and then companies that operate out in Las Vegas, given that it's out there this weekend.
Right, understood. They have, I don't mean to talk about the Taylor Swift effect, but it's my understanding from the likes of FanDuel, and we had Flutter here just recently at the New York Stock Exchange. They are talking about the bets on someone like Travis Kelce they are surging. Tell me a little bit about some of these specific bets and trends that you are seeing for this particular Super Bowl.
Sure. So we put out a report yesterday, and what we found was the bookmakers really need San Francisco to win. They need a low-scoring game, and they need some of the big stars to not kind of hit their projected targets. If that happens, companies like DraftKings and FanDuel and the like could take as much as 30% hold rate. The natural hold rate for sports betting is 5%. That's what it is in the casino. That's what it is here. So some of the bets that we're seeing, they're standard prop bets in terms of how many yards each player will achieve if they'll score a touchdown. There are some fun little prop bets that we're seeing just in terms of how many times they'll show Taylor Swift. You have the traditional heads or tails, coin toss, little things like that. Some of the markets have pulled back in terms of how far you'll get to in terms of the broadcasting and kind of what's going on. But there's a lot of fun little bets that are out there right now.
Understood. So when you look at the gaming stocks, which ones are the buy ratings in your opinion?
DraftKings was our top pick. That stock was up over 200% in 23. There's a lot of strong momentum there, so it's always tough to get in front of the momentum trade. What we've also seen is some of the others are doing well now. MGM actually announced a deal with X, formerly known as Twitter, today. So they're looking at their current market share and their current, let's call it 26 projections as floor for the company. And they're looking to acquire more customers. So that was a really interesting partnership. FanDuel, which sits in Flutter, which you mentioned, dual listed here last week. They're the bellwether, right? Everyone's coming for them. They have the best product, the best technology, the best followers. But yeah, I think there could be some share gains for Penn, which struck a deal with ESPN Bet. The stock's trading as if that deal will fail. MGM, as I mentioned, is making a move here. And then Genius, ticker GENI. They collect all the data. They feed it to the sports betting companies, the media companies, and the leagues. Yeah. So they're kind of your picks and shovels, and that's kind of the best B2B way that we think investors should look at.
Yeah, you mentioned DraftKings was a top pick last year, and the surge that we've seen for that stock. At this point now, what's your rating?
We still do have an outperform rating. The stock is run here. They report earnings next Friday. We did upgrade our price target in our primer on January 17th. We're at $44 per share, which is right around where the stock is trading. We're going to wait for Friday's results. to kind of see, how we're thinking about the stock. But obviously, companies that are expected to grow 20 to 30% for the next 5 years, that's an area where investors want to go to. So yes, we'll reconsider some items after the Super Bowl and after they report on Friday.
Yeah, understood. That being said, now, when we think about different states that will add betting, right? Tell me more about that, because that could only help these names, right?
Absolutely. So currently in the United States, 38 states have legalized sports betting. Most of those are mobile. Some are still in the retail fashion. The big one that we're going to see for 2024, hopefully right before March Madness, is North Carolina. So that's a big state that's going to add some incremental, population there. And there's agreements, and a lot of the sports betting companies are excited to get in markets there. There's a few other bills that are being tossed around, and we'll see some movement in the next few months. So the US is legalized in 55% of states, and then also in Ontario. For iGaming, that's where we haven't seen the momentum. 12% of states you can bet on iGaming. So that's slots and blackjack on your phone. If we see more of that, and New York is talking about that right now, that's where we think you would see these stocks really start to run, because that would create a brand new opportunity. They already have the customers, it's just cross-selling. So iGaming is kind of the holy grail over the next 5 years, but sports betting has been incredible, and it's really helped engagement for the leagues.
Yeah, Chad Beynon, great to see you of Macquarie Group. Thank you very much.